You got any best bets for this weekend, man? What you looking at this week?
Man, there's a lot of stuff out here, but what I'm liking in the Thursday night game with the Denver and Las Vegas, I like that 8.5 for Denver. That's going to be a good line. Brock Bowers definitely is going to get his touchdown. He's back. He played last week with a vengeance, so I
Mm.
definitely got him for an anytime touchdown. Bo Nix, 2 touchdowns. He's pretty much clear for that stuff every week. He might even have one rushing. So if you're feeling lucky, get the one rushing touchdown for Bo Nix.
Let me back you up on that though. I like for the Thursday night game, I like Cortland Sutton and over in the receiving yards, whatever they preset the early lines at. Because I'm going to tell you right now, Vegas is horrible defending, particularly on the outside, and they've been really generous to opposing receivers, especially on the outside. So I like Cortland Sutton in that game too. I think he's gonna get off a little bit.
56.5 right now, what they're showing.
Over,
Hmm.
over, easy.
Okay.
Easy. That might be 3 catches.
But Troy Franklin been the guy really that's been catching the targets. So let's see what they got him on targets. They got him at 4.5 targets right now. So him and Sutton at 4.5 targets. But personally, I will go with Troy Franklin for the 4.5 targets over.
Okay, yeah, I don't really like those targets. The receptions, they're tricky to me. I'd
The
much rather
receptions, I
nine times
mean,
out of ten, yeah, 9 times out of ten, I'd rather take the receiving yards than the receptions. Because a lot of these, especially guys like Cortland Sutton, and you catch one ball, man, that could be a good chunk of 30 right
right.
there off of one catch. So
Yep.
damned if you do, damned if you don't. I could tell you one that I like this week, man, is I like the Jags covering the point and a half. Probably
Houston,
winning outright against Houston. Yeah, bro, because Houston's been fighting, but they've now lost their last 2 out of 3 games because their offense has been a disappointment this year. We've talked about it all year long. Now CJ Stroud is out this week, man, and Davis Mills
right.
is starting. May God have mercy on Texans fans. I'm praying for y'all. But I'm looking at the Jags, and they ended their 2 game losing streak last week, albeit an overtime win against the Raiders. Yeah, but you've seen their offense kind of maintain pretty well, I felt like, without Travis Hunter. They put up 30 points and they just traded for Jacoby Myers. I'm
Right.
expecting a little bit of a bang, explosive. I don't know, but I'm loving the Jags to cover that point and probably outright win this as an upset, man. I really like the Jags this weekend. I do. I'm not sold on Davis Mills. Their defense is never nothing, I got to worry about in Houston. They're amongst the best, but Davis Mills running that offense, an offense that's been struggling nonetheless lately, man. I don't see them winning that game. I don't even see how they're favored.
I don't know because Trevor Lawrence really hasn't been looking great anyway. Probably plus rushing yards or whatever his rushing yards is. But I would go to over on the rushing yards. But other than that, man, I wouldn't even touch that game because Jaguars, man, they out with Travis Hunter, out Devin Lloyd. Like with the Travis Hunter thing, he offense and defense, so it's like losing two players. So that's
Hmm.
the thing about having somebody that can play both sides, playing the Iron Man. You're gonna get messed up or whatever if that guy get hurt. So I'm not touching that with a stick, but I will go to plus rushing yards with Trevor Lawrence. He's gonna get those because he's not gonna have nobody to throw to because Brian Thomas Jr. is hurt as well, and then like I say, Travis Hunter is hurt. So
I thought they were going to move Thomas, man. I had heard the rumors that they were going to move him before the deadline, and they
they
didn't. They didn't pull the trigger on
mm-mm,
it.
mm-mm.
Hey,
Because because
but yet,
he still has an upside, but he has been dropping a lot of passes this year. But he's only a second year guy. But Trevor Lawrence don't be throwing that stuff on the money like that no way. So you got to give both of those guys the blame.
yeah, I mean, it was concerning enough for them to bring in Jacoby Myers,
Right.
a seasoned vet in the game doing it, but. Yeah, it'll just if they could get Jacoby Myers, they get Thomas, and they get Travis Hunter all on the same page. Those are 3 nice receivers right there, bro. And that could be definitely profitable in your future. But I think they're gonna end up getting rid of Thomas at some point. You never know. But yeah, he's got to hold on to the ball. But I like the Jags here, man. I like the Jags in this game. I think this is a bounce back win for them. I think they're gonna outright win, not just cover the point and a half. But
Hmm.
I wouldn't have probably felt that way, but when I seen Davis Mills was taking the snaps, I'm like, I cannot take
You cannot
this.
go for
I
right.
can't. I
Hmm.
just can't do that, bro. So I'm going the Jags, and I think they cover that shit. What's your best bet for the weekend? Let us know in the comments.